All right, looks like we are live on YouTube here, guys. It's been a few weeks since we've done our last YouTube live, right, Mike?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's been a little bit.
It's been a little bit, so we thought we'd get back on track here. We're trying to do these at least once a month, ideally twice a month. But the first few months of this year, we're a little bit busy. Things have started to calm down a little bit in the recent, like last 1 or 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So we're going to try to do more of these, so you guys can put your questions out there. If you guys have any questions about us, we'll definitely get those to later in the broadcast. But we're going to go through a couple things that are going on in the San Diego real estate market. Once I figure out how to share my screen again, bear with me. Okay, here we go. Share screen. News, here it is. Okay, so first I wanted to start off with what's going on in the real estate market here. So the first half, what month are we in now? We're in April?
Yes.
April.
End of April.
Home prices have gone up quite a bit in this first part of this year, more than I was actually expecting. I know we kind of did some predictions at the beginning of the year, and most of these have definitely already surpassed what we were thinking. But I think there is hope for us in the future. But I mean, rates have gone up quite a bit in the first part of this year. Mike, what rates are you seeing right now as far as interest rates go?
On jumbo, it's like 4 3/4 to up almost pushing 5, and then on a traditional 30-year, 5 1/4, even a little higher in some cases, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I think they're going to keep going up this year a few more times. I do think they're going to bring them up, and then they'll probably push them back down again at the second half of the year. I think they're just, trying to catch up with this inflation thing going on right now. So we will see how much more they go up, because I thought it was going to be like 4% max this year, because we were at 3% most of the last year, and we already hit 4% like 2 months in. And that's what caused the big rush to buy homes this first 3 months of the year. Everyone was trying to beat the interest rate hikes.
Right.
So it was definitely more than I was expecting, and more than most people were expecting from a lot of the economists in the area. But it's been pretty crazy here. And what is it called? Refinance rates everyone that was refinancing has pretty much already refinanced. So they have actually dropped refinance applications considerably this year. Because most people's rates are well below 4 or 5%, so you're not going to get a lot of refinancing goes. But home purchase applications are also down. Am I sharing the screen? Is it not working? Hang on a second. Give me a second. Share screen. Window. News. Okay, there it goes. Okay, this is not working. What does that say? Lock the screen by selecting the lock button in the bottom left of what? Okay. I'm just going to read you what it says on here, because it's not letting me share anything. Bottom left. I don't see anything on that. Okay. Okay. So mortgage rates are spiking. So like you said, we're at around 5% right now, and they're going to continue to go up. I mean, if jumbos are at 4.25 now, could they hit 5% by the end of the year? I kind of hope not. I do want rates to go up a little bit to slow this market down a little bit, and it finally seems like it might in the last 2 to 3 weeks. We're not seeing the same bidding wars that we've seen in years past, or months past even.
Right.
Because I remember the first house that came on the market in January in Pacific Island Ranch. It was listed at $2 million, and I remember going to the open house. There was 300 people waiting to get into this open house. And that one had 37 offers on it, and it went $500,000 over asking. I just think those days are probably behind us right now, just because I don't think, I think rates have gone up too much and prices have gone up. So now it's going to be more, I'm not saying it's going to be a buyer's market, but it's probably going to be more of a balanced market. Yeah. So even this past week, I was able to get an offer accepted, and I think it only had 3 or 4 offers, which I think might be more of the norm. It kind of depends on the house.
Right.
But move-in ready houses will still probably have more than one offer. You still get multiple offers, but I don't think you're going to have the 10, 15, 20 offers anymore. What's your thoughts? What do you guys think?
I agree. I feel like you can already feel a little bit of a shift there with that. And there's just more, seems to be more homes on the market right now too. Probably just time of year as well with that. But Yeah, I think buyers are kind of still thinking it's going to be like 10, 12 offers and like, what do I need to do? And then it's a pleasant surprise when it's only 3 or 4 that you're sort
Yeah, I
of
mean, I could live with 3 and 4 offers all day,
all day
but
long.
with 15 to 20, the chance of you
Sure.
being able to get one, even if you do everything possible to get the offer accepted,
Mhm.
you still have a very slim chance of getting
Yeah.
accepted. So
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just had my first one this week close. That was actually under asking. It was about 20,000 closed under asking. I don't know if
Wow.
if Ravi and VJ are on. It was their first home, so congrats, guys.
yeah,
Yay.
Yeah, that was first time that's happened to me, and geez, I can't even remember. But
yeah,
there
I
was
haven't had
only
many of
one
them.
other offer on the property, and yeah, to get it under asking in this market was a huge win for them. So yeah,
Yeah.
hopefully more of that in the future for the buyers out there.
Well, that's a normal market because like,
Right.
3 years ago, pre-pandemic, that's the way it would go. You get, 1 to 4 offers.
Yeah.
If it was a really good home, maybe you got 5.
Right.
But the last 2 years, like everything had like okay, how many offers is this
Right.
one gonna have?
Right.
Because it just got ridiculous. So I am looking forward to a more balanced, stable market just for buyers.
Yeah.
I mean, sellers are probably gotten used to getting these huge bidding wars all the time,
Right.
so they might be in for a little bit of a rude awakening, and maybe it'll start shifting toward buyer friendly. But I think buyers deserve it because they were in for a rough go, and realtors had helped buyers a lot.
Yeah, I think that used to be like before it used to be like your claim to fame could be like, I can get this offer accepted at like, I can come in lower but still make it an attractive offer. And then
Sure.
now I think it's like I can beat out 12 other offers. I think that's the buyer's agents. That's how you can, that's your flex, is how many other offers can you beat out instead of how much under asking can you get an offer accepted. So I would love for it to go back
I would
to that.
absolutely love that.
That'd be great.
It would be much
For buyers,
easier.
for buyers, yeah.
For sure, for sure.
Mhm.
Okay, so my screen sharing is not working, so I'm just going to go through a couple of the other things that I had on here. This is another thing I just noticed recently. I was going through I always like to see when I haven't seen a lot of price reductions in the last 2 years, like ever.
But
So
now lately
I've
you've been seeing a
seen
couple.
more. So I just went
I
on
have too, yeah.
Redfin's website, and you can go search on there and say price reduction in the last 7 days.
Yes.
So this is what I did. If you could be better if you could see this map, but unfortunately my
great.
sharing is let me just check one more time and see if it works, but I don't think it's going to. Sharing, stream, share screen, window, and Chrome tab. Okay, still not going to work. Okay, so long story short, you did last 7 days in all of San Diego City metro area. There were 65 homes with price reductions.
Wow.
One was last time, before, like 2 months ago, I think maybe you would see 5.
Mm-hmm.
So now I see 65. So I'm not saying there's going to be some kind of huge crash coming on, but I think we'll just get back to a more normal, stable market.
And what do you think that's attributed to? Because I just shared a home with a client the other day that was like, why was the price reduced? They were so suspicious.
Well, now everyone's worried about it. They see a price reduction.
Yeah, you're right. But so what do you think? I mean, because I said there could be a lot of different reasons. A million different reasons.
Right.
But I think just because of the market being the way that it has been, sometimes now buyers see that and they're like, something has to be wrong. Hold on. Like, why did they reduce the price? This house is supposed to go in 2 days. There's got to be something wrong with it. People didn't buy it, and they have to reduce
the biggest
the price.
reason is they just overpriced it. I
Overpriced
think
it.
in the previous market, you couldn't really overprice the house.
Right,
You just put pick a number out of a hat, and it would sell.
And
no
see
matter what.
who,
Now it's like, if you're selling in this market, you have to be
Yes.
super conscious of what's going on in that market.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of these agents underprice it so much, just to be sure that they get the house in escrow quickly. Because if you let it go through 2 weekends without an offer, then it's like panic mode for listing agents and for sellers.
Yes.
So,
and buyers see that as, at least here in this area, I feel like it might be a turnoff. They really do want to know, why hasn't it sold in 2 weeks, which is not even that long.
It is not that long. But in a normal market, usually houses would go through 2 or 3 weekends sometimes without having offers accepted. But in this market, when everyone's, for the last 2.5 years, we've been on the market for 4 days. Oh my God, why is it still there for 4 days?
Still there? Right.
So for one, I'm actually looking forward to a more normal market. But if you're looking to buy right now, like people always ask this question, like should I buy right now? I would say if you plan on being in the house for a long time, I think it doesn't really matter if you buy now or 6 months from now or 6 months before now. So, but if you're planning on being there for like 2 to 3, this like your 2 to 3 year, 4-year home, maybe it's not the best time to buy. Maybe wait it out another 6 months to a year and see how it plays out. Maybe you can get the house for a little bit less. Yes, the interest rate will be a little bit higher, but you also can't sell an interest rate. So, and everyone keeps saying, I don't think prices are going to dip, but I think that like the days of 15 to 20% increases is over. So maybe like normal appreciation was like 4 to 7%. So now, but the problem is everyone's been used to like 10, 15, 20, 25%. So I don't know. I think it's going to be tough for people just get used to one thing. It's hard to go back to a different thing after a while. So we shall see what happens. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the comments there. I had some sharing screens here, but again, it's not working. So we're just going to go with it.
Cheers you.
Oh yeah, we also have our drinks here as well.
What are you drinking?
I got Pliny the Elder, is the only
my goodness.
one I had in my fridge right now. Mike, do you have a beverage?
Yeah, I went with whiskey today.
Woo! Nice.
It is Wednesday after all. So.
Yeah, there's these interest rate hikes and home prices got me drinking whiskey during the week now.
Go right to the whiskey. I get that.
Only for YouTube Live. I'm normally not a weekday drinker, but for YouTube Live, we gotta pour a glass of whiskey.
This is how it gets us through it.
I didn't share what I'm drinking. I'm drinking. I feel like I've had this before. This Babe
Grigio.
It's a Pinot Grigio with bubbles. It's really good, actually. It's dry. It's not too sweet, and it's carbonated, which I like. Anything carbonated, really.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, what other things we are seeing that I'm seeing out in the real estate market? Like I said, there are not as many bidding wars, so I don't think you have to like. We're also like for the past 2.5 years, you'd have to release not all contingencies, but like a majority of them to have a shot at a house. I don't think you're gonna have to do that much going forward. Maybe like the really good houses that were underpriced, you might still have to do it for. But I think people will actually get to keep appraisal contingencies in place. Shocking as that is. Which will be nice for our buyers, so they're not so stressed out all the time about appraisal differences. And for the most part, we've actually been pretty lucky with the appraisals. Like almost all of them have come in at or very close to, and sometimes they even come up above, which is even better. So you get instant equity in your house. So that's good. And then what else was going on around
I feel like this is the first time that we've even been able to, like in the last year, that we've even been able to talk about some actual changes in the market.
I know. I feel like it's always just been kind of going up,
and then we're like, basically everything's still the same. And so I feel like this time's the first time you've been able to say like, hey, you got an offer accepted under asking price. Like that's bananas.
There's light at the end of the tunnel.
Something has changed here. Yeah.
And I think a lot of people are reading all these headlines and are taking a break from home buying, which is fine. I mean, if you want to wait to see how this plays out over the next 3 to 6 to 12 months, it might not be the worst idea. It kind of just depends on, what your situation is. Do you need to buy a house right now? Then you'll still buy a house. If you don't need one, maybe you just want to see how it plays out before. But I wouldn't discount ones like I said, with all those price drops. I mean, there's not in all of San Diego. There's not 61 homes, not a ton, but definitely more than we've seen. But if you find one that is, I always like looking for ones that have price drops because sometimes they just price a little too high. So if they underpriced it, they would have got more than that.
Right.
But if they price it too high, sometimes you can swoop in there. They get nervous. It's been on the market for a week.
Yeah.
Shocking. But
and also price drops. I mean, for people watching, maybe it's not like the price is dropping like.
No, it's like $10,000.
Right. So. Sometimes a little more, sometimes a little less. Sometimes it's just to get back in the algorithm there, right? Have a home pop back up.
Like a 92129 where we live. There's 2 that got a price drop. One on Park Village Road over there.
Oh, I looked at that one.
1699. I think they had it listed at 18, and now it's at 16999. And then there's this one over on Freeport. 114.
I saw that one as well. That one has a big backyard. It's on a pretty quiet street.
If my screen sharing would work, I could show this to everybody.
Sorry guys.
Unfortunately, it does not work. So
yes.
Okay. I've got a couple more news things I wanted to get to. Oops, that was it. Sorry. And yeah, so mortgage applications have dropped by 8.3% from last week, which is not super unsurprising. With rates going up, you're just going to have less people buying. So, which is also, like I said, probably not going to bring prices down, but it'll definitely be easier for you to get into homes. And you'll probably see more price reductions when people are still trying to overprice homes and get it done. So we shall see. So like he said, jumbo rates are about 4.25% is what I'm seeing. And then conforming rates, which is under, $800,000, about hovering right around 5% right now. So, and then a lot of people are doing ARMs now on interest rates. So you can do the 5-year ARM, 7-year ARM. So like I think the 7-year ARM is around 3.6% interest rate. So if you don't know what ARMs are, it's a interest rate that is locked in for like 7 years. And then after 7 years, it can be adjustable after that. And then, or you can refinance before that 7 years is up. So that has actually gone up a lot over the last couple weeks. Here's what I've been told from my lender. So if you're, kind of turned off by the current interest rate on 30 years, you might want to check out ARMs. Some people don't like the gamble of doing the ARMs, but if you keep on top of it and you can refinance in, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years, then it's not a terrible option if that's what you prefer. Okay. Home prices. Okay, then said, so this was a report that just came out from, again, can't see it on there. San Diego Union Tribune, San Diego home prices accelerating at a pace not seen since housing boom of 2004. So the metro area of San Diego went up 29.1% year over year in February. Again, January, February was pretty much insane here.
Yeah.
But now, like over those last 2 to 3 weeks, it's definitely settled down a little bit. So I wouldn't even be surprised if you'll see a slight dip in home prices in the second half of this year. But again, I don't see any crash coming, unfortunately. Not unfortunately, fortunately, I guess. So that was interesting. But yeah, if you're out there home buying, it's a lot easier to get a house accepted. So if you were on the sidelines for a while because you were so tired of getting beat out on bidding wars, this might be a good time to try to get back in there. This is not a housing related topic at all, but
just San Diego related.
Just San Diego related. It's a Sesame Place theme park in San Diego just opened last month. And I actually think I'm going to take my kids there in the next week or so. I might take them out of school slightly early.
Let us know how.
Are you going to do a video tour?
I'm going to do a video tour of it. So if you have
nice.
not, if anybody's been to Sesame Place in San Diego yet, let me know how it is. We're going to try to do another guy. We did a Legoland one that I did with my kids. So we'll try to do a Sesame Place one, and we'll see how that one is. So that just opened at the end of March in Chula Vista. So if anybody's been there, let us know.
Aquatica used to be.
Right.
Aquatica water park.
So it's a water park,
it's a water
basically.
park as well. Yeah.
So that should be a cool place to check out.
Yeah.
All right, we'll get into a few questions here. If you guys have any, feel free to put them in the chat there. We got a couple here. I'll put them on the screen. Can you see these, Mike? Can you see these?
Yep.
Okay.
Ayana says, do you guys think the current median home price in San Diego will sustain? I do think it will sustain. Could there be a slight dip at some point? There could be, but I don't think it's going to dip anytime soon, unless they bring up the rates like 6%, and then that could possibly do it. But I think they're going to bring it up till the point where they think it's not going to affect home prices too much. But if it does start to affect it, they'll just bring it back down. But that's just my guess. So you guys have any other thoughts?
I mean, I don't think it's going to drop. I know people like to reminisce about, I got, whatever, my house in Poway for whatever price and now I can't believe it's going for this much. It's not, I don't think you're ever going to go back to those, what people thought were really reasonable prices for homes that may need a little bit of work, maybe are kind of fixer-uppers. Even the fixer-uppers, I think, are still gonna sell for San Diego prices.
I mean, the median home price here in San Diego is like $950, $980 now, I think, something like that.
It's
and a year and a half ago, it was like $800.
Yeah.
So it's definitely gone quite up. To get a single family home in a decent area in San Diego will cost you almost $1 million anywhere.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think it really comes down to inventory too, right? If the inventory picks up and the rates are high, then potentially that would cause prices to go down, right? If there's a lot more houses on the market.
The inventory you'll start seeing homes make it through 2-3 weekends in a row.
Oh yeah.
I think, but it might not be like this week, but maybe
to
you know,
come.
I would
Yeah.
say second, like after summer, like the fall into December, I bet you'll start seeing more and more like kind of last a little bit longer than they used to. So, which could theoretically bring prices down a little bit, but it's not going to be like hundreds of thousands of
Right.
dollars.
It's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The
Which-
problem with that is that
We're waiting for that crash to happen,
Right.
which there could be something, but I don't think it's going to be housing related. It could be, you know, if there's something big happens in the world that could cause it, but I don't think it's going to be housing related per se.
No.
Even in recessions, housing prices usually, out of the last like 5 recessions, only one time did the housing prices actually go down, which is the 2008 thing. So, so we shall see.
So not a repeat of that.
I don't think so,
No,
but
I
you
don't
know,
think so.
I could be wrong.
I don't think
Okay. Oh, our good friend the Spaniard is back. I would recommend anyone that purchased a home in the last few years, get yourself some Depends. I don't know why. Should we?
Do we even want to know why?
Because we are going to got ourselves. Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, good to see you, Spaniard. As always, pleasure chatting with you. Okay. Deb, our good friend Deb, is back. In a market like San Diego's where there had been a lot of cash offers, why is it that a change in interest rates would have much of an impact? Have we run out of cash buyers? There are, you'd be surprised. There's not as, I mean, percentage wise, the amount of cash buyers are not that high. And a lot of times cash buyers will refinance after they buy the house. So they don't, when the interest rates were low, they go, I have the money, I'll just get the property and then refinance after. But now if they get it and they have to refinance at 4 to 5% interest rate. So that's why it's not going to make a big difference. Oh, that's why it is going to make a big difference, because just because it was cash, a lot of times they refi. If that makes sense.
So I don't think we have run out of cash buyers, but maybe not. Maybe I not seen quite as many.
No, not. I mean, I know when we go put in offers in, like I always ask, is there any other all cash buyers?
Yeah.
But there has not been as many lately.
Right.
Maybe for that main reasons why they like to refinance, because we've had some cash buyers and then they refinance after. But now they might not do it as much going forward. So we shall see. Okay, we got Rach. I'm an English teacher, secondary school, UK. Could I really afford to purchase a home? How does my degree translate?
Like a teaching degree, you would have to get a California state teaching degree to teach at a public school, I believe, but private schools, you may not need it. I'm not positive, but I think private schools are a little more flexible with what your credentials are. So you might possibly be able to come just with your resume and all of your experience and your referrals and find a job at
I don't actually know the exact.
I know to teach in a public school you have to be certified in the state of California, but
is that hard? Yeah.
No, but I mean, it takes some time, and I don't know what the rest of her degree looks like or what the qualifications are in the UK to teach either. So, I mean, I'm sure if you already have like a 4-year degree from someplace, you could come over here and probably, but you know what? I'm not sure how it works with all of the, like the on-site hands-on stuff you have to do, like when you become a student teacher.
Sure.
So, I'm not positive about that, but I think private schools, there is a little more wiggle room. For
well, like your wife has
like
a teaching degree, does she not?
Yeah, correct. And as far as her being able to afford a property in San Diego as being a teacher, if she's a single, individual, trying to afford a property, that it's going to be difficult unless maybe she's teaching at the university level. If there's dual income, like, if she has somebody else or, husband or fiance or somebody else that has income, that definitely, a possibility. But that's like me and my wife, we both work, right? So she's a teacher, I work in real estate. We needed to make that work in order to be able to purchase a property here in San Diego. So it's definitely not easy, especially with the home prices that you mentioned, the medium home price, but I think it's doable, and it depends on, what you're looking for, right? If it's just if it's just one individual looking for a condo, there's opportunity there.
Yeah, but if you're looking for a 4-bedroom house, it's probably gonna be challenging. But if you're just a solo person, obviously you're probably looking for more.
Also depends on location. Obviously, there's areas where the prices are a little lower. Near where we are, Carmel Valley, the prices are pretty high. Obviously, someplace like a Rancho Santa Fe, it's super expensive. But then, I think there's lots of options if you're not just looking for a single family home. There's lots of more affordable options.
And if you're flexible on the location, there's definitely more affordable spots, but kind of depends where you want to live too.
And
Gracious, thank
you're
you. You're
welcome.
very welcome.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, any Merge 56 updates? So big news. They opened up the road. There's a road on Camino del Sur that they found, like one road, not all the way through to Park Village. But I believe that it'll be much easier to get new construction homes here in the very near future because if interest rates are continuing to go up,
right,
and you can't really lock in your interest rate until the house is built and ready to go. So if that's 6 months from now, I think a lot of people will be nervous about what interest rate they're going to have. I mean, you can usually lock it in for I think certain ones will let you do 90-day locks. So if you bought 3 months ago, you're probably fine.
Locked in for that rate.
Or at least you can lock it in now. So it's not going to be 5 or 6% sort of thing. So, but I think if you're going to look at new construction now and it's not going to be built for 6 to 8 months, no one knows where their interest rate is going to be in 6 to 8 months. So I think if you're looking for new construction, it's probably going to be a lot easier. People are going to probably drop off some of those lists that have been waiting because the prices have gone up so much. Now the interest rates are up, and now they don't know what interest rate they're going to get. I think it's going to be. I even tried to contact Lennar at 3 Roots and Merge 56 today, and I'm like, I just want to see how busy your list is right now. I was like, we don't give out that information. I'm like, of course you don't, because you're probably losing people left and right. So
because at the beginning of all of that construction, when those wait lists
were gigantic,
it was thousands of people, thousands of people, qualified buyers. It's crazy, and they were able to just. Yeah, they were.
But I would keep an eye on new construction, because if you ever or really wanted one and you can't get it, thought you couldn't get into it, I bet you in the next 3 months it's going to be a lot easier to get new construction. So keep an eye on that.
And as far as the rest of Merge 56, if you're asking about the commercial real estate or any of the other stuff that's being built there, none of that is built yet. They're still just working on the homes. They haven't even started. They've started the second or third phase of the single family homes. They started the apartments, but they are at the beginning of that process, I would say.
And they were supposed to have single family homes and townhomes for sale.
And
now it's just single family homes for sale, and then apartments to rent.
And they are apartments. They're not townhomes.
Maybe they're townhome rentals,
but they're rentals. So only a portion of that real estate is actually able to be purchased. So so the roadway that connects to Carmel Mountain Road is open. So that's really convenient. That's really, really helpful for some of the people that live at the end of Carmel Mountain Road. Can now just zip right through to Camino del Sur. It takes 2 minutes opposed to 10 minutes.
My brother-in-law lives right on the other side of that, so get there very quickly.
I would say that's the update so far. So, is anybody living in those homes yet? Do you know?
Yeah, is anybody? People are living. People are living. Yeah, you can see lights on and stuff in there too. So if anybody's watching that lives in them, let me know how it is.
How's it going? Yeah.
So where are we at? Here we go. Another question. If you look at historic stock market charts, they run parallel to the housing market. Just saying. Yes. Thank you, Spaniard. They do to an extent, but not exactly. But yes, they are similar.
Deb says, glad to hear it. Yes, Deb, absolutely. Okay. Kelvin, it's back. Kelvin, I remember.
Do you live here now, Kelvin? I forget if you do or not.
Yes, he was trying to buy a home. Do you guys remember my rant last year? I think during the summer, I ended up getting a huge promotion, was able to buy a house last year, and it was the best decision of my life. I am so happy.
That's awesome. Who did you use for your realtor? This is ridiculous.
You didn't call us.
Just kidding. Let us know where you bought though. Where did you buy? I'm just curious where you got it.
That's wonderful. And yes, living in San Diego is wonderful. It is wonderful. Feel like it was a great decision.
Congratulations, Kelvin.
Here as well.
Okay. Whoops.
Yeah.
Oh, I just missed it.
No. SP says, do you recommend doing an inspection on a new build home before buying it?
Yeah, I mean, it probably depends on the builder, but it can't hurt to do it. I would say a lot of people don't do it.
Right, because it's brand new.
But they can still make mistakes on new builds. They do have to go through inspections and stuff like that. People still miss stuff.
Yeah.
The chances of them missing something big are probably slim, but an inspection doesn't cost that much. You're buying a $1.5 million house, spending $400 or $500 on an inspection. It's probably not the worst idea.
And then just to have that in your arsenal.
Yeah. Would I do it? I probably wouldn't. I say you should, but I
do as I say, not as I do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So. Spaniards back again. A good metric to look at is what are the rich people doing? Huntington Beach, etc. Why did you just pick Huntington Beach out of any neighborhood you could pick? That's funny. 30 million homes, price drop of 3,505,000 months on market. Just my opinion. Does that say 3,505, or does that
Or
say?
is it 3
I think he's talking about a $30 million home. Like a market for those type of homes is just
Well,
completely different.
we can't compare $30 million homes because that's just almost like what is someone willing to pay, besides what it's actually worth.
Yeah.
So I don't like to look at those ones because those are such outliers that compare like $1 million to $1.5 million homes. That's where you can see the differences. So, but still love you, Spaniard. Don't worry. Jaya, hopefully I said that correctly. Been watching you guys. Great job with the information flow. Much appreciation. Thanks for watching, man. Appreciate it. Oh, here's Kelvin. Some of the schools in San Diego are the best in California. Weather is excellent. UCSD is a great university. Biotech is expanding. Tech is here and not leaving. Apple added 5,000 K-jobs to San Diego.
I love.
You must have watched our channel.
He should.
Or
he
read it
He should
somewhere.
be doing the San Diego, like the Come to San Diego catalog or whatever it's called, brochure. That sounds like you are selling it.
I know.
You're really selling it.
We should have Kelvin on the show here.
I know.
He could just do it for us.
But yes, that is all accurate. And UCSD is a great school, and it's on a beautiful campus. People are
Lots of biotech.
Yeah, I agree with all of these statements.
Yeah, there was a list that came out like where people are moving to. Like it said, like if people are leaving a certain city, where are the people going to?
Yeah.
From LA, most people are going to San Diego. Apparently,
yeah.
From San Francisco, it was to Sacramento, which I guess because it was closer to. But we've had so many Bay Area people down here. It felt like San Diego is probably pretty high on that list. But if they didn't want to go too far from San Francisco, I guess Sacramento makes sense too. Yeah. So I guess Sacramento's doing pretty well as well.
Burns in LA to SD guy, aren't you?
I am.
Yeah.
I did back in 2014, 15.
Yeah. You just had to get out of LA, or?
I just couldn't live in LA forever. I just didn't, in my previous job, I had to be in LA. And then once I switched to real estate,
you could be anywhere.
I could be anywhere. Granted, I had to start over again, but I just couldn't do it forever. And San Diego, just with kids and lifestyle, I just feel like it just fit me better than anywhere else. So.
Yeah. Very true.
Yes. Kelvin, the demand is still high even after the rate hikes. I would say yes, it is still high, but it is starting to decrease. So I think people are kind of waiting and seeing to see where the rates go. And I think they just almost want them to like settle, and then people will get comfortable with the rate again. Because if they think it's just going to continue to go up, then they're like, okay, let's just wait. They want the rates to settle, whether it's going to be at 4, 4.5%, 5%. I think the Fed just does this to get people used to it. And then if it gets too much, then they bring it back down. That's just my guess, but I think that's what's happening. Okay. Alex Wallace. Does Lemon Grove and La Mesa have affordable homes? They do have more affordable homes than other parts of San Diego.
Depends on where you're coming from, what you consider affordable. If you already live here in the San Diego area, you're probably used to seeing the cost of homes in some of the, the coastal areas. It's going to be more expensive.
Sure.
If you're moving from the Midwest, I think even homes in Lemon Grove or La Mesa might seem I don't want to generalize and say the Midwest, but moving somewhere where real estate's a little less expensive, it might still seem expensive, but
Lemon Grove is probably more or less
affordable,
or more affordable than La Mesa.
Mesa.
La Mesa, I don't know the median home price off the top of my head. It's probably like around $1 million in La Mesa.
Yeah, but you probably could still find some stuff for under $1 million in La Mesa, depending on the size and age of the property you're looking at. I would say.
Yeah, for sure.
I like La Mesa.
I do too.
I see another question.
I like walkable
in here.
Neighborhoods.
Yeah, about La Mesa.
Okay, we'll get to it in a second. Am I on this one now? Okay.
Yeah, it's this one.
Andrew, one of our past clients from last year. Good to see you. Hey, Bern, thanks for your help last year. I feel like we got very lucky. You did get very lucky, Andrew, because you just see what your house is worth now. I think areas a little east like La Mesa and Escondido northbound to become more popular. I think the area, so when one like a couple areas like our area, like Rancho Bernardo, Torrey Highlands, Carmel Valley, gets so expensive, Del Sur, Forest Ranch, then people start looking elsewhere. So like in Escondido or where you live, Andrew, or like San Marcos. So people start to transition away from the really expensive ones, and then those areas start to become more expensive. And we only have so much space here in San Diego, so it just starts to push out a little farther. And those areas tend to get nicer. They gentrify a little bit. So over time, it's not a bad idea to go a little farther out than you are comfortable with, if that's your price range. So, and that's kind of what Andrew did. And it's worked out pretty well for him.
I think La Mesa is popular. I do see, I mean, Escondido with stuff like Harmony Grove expanding. I think for Escondido to really, I mean, like some of the schools would have to be really enticing, I think, to really get.
They're starting to get slowly getting better.
Yes.
And there's that downtown. They have a beautiful downtown.
They do.
They have been trying to turn it over a little bit in recent years, but I feel like it has such a great possibility to have like the best downtown in that very north end of North County.
Yeah.
Besides like Carlsbad, because they have a great little town. But other than that, like to have a main street, like everyone loves Main Street. I love Main Streets. I talk about it all the time. And I just feel like it has such great potential. And they just need to, put a little money into it and then kind of revamp it, especially as more and more people move to that direction. So just my thoughts. So investment properties, I would check out Escondido because I think 8 years from now, it's going to pay off. But good to hear from you, Andrew. Do you think inflation in San Diego will keep going up for generic goods and services? I think this is just my guess is like our inflation has peaked a little bit because it's gone up so much recently. So I don't think it's going to continue to go up dramatically more, especially now that the rates are going up. I know it's not, you're talking about goods and services, but I don't see it going up a whole lot more than it has already. But again, I'm not an expert on inflation. So Mike, any thoughts on that?
I'm hoping. I mean, things have gotten quite expensive, gas, number one, right? So hopefully that goes down a little bit, but I think you're right. I think it's peaked. What was it? They mentioned 8% or something like that last month, year over year, which is crazy. So if we can get back into the, usually CPI is around 3%, I would say. So we can get in that level, things would be much better.
Rates just to counteract the inflation. So
so you would think that would slow it down.
And brings it down a little bit. So we'll see.
But that's a supply chain issue too. There's lots of moving parts on that. And I'm definitely not an expert on that.
It will be fixed by now, but it's still going strong. Sounds like. Any thoughts on long-term outlook for young families? Scripps Ranch versus Poway. I always think Poway is the most affordable spot in North County, San Diego.
Yeah.
With good school, like higher ranked schools.
Yeah.
I'm not saying good or bad.
Scripps Ranch has great schools too, but it's
a little bit more expensive too.
Yeah.
So if you can afford Scripps Ranch, I think that's a great spot to be. And Scripps Ranch is pretty large, so there's a lot of different neighborhoods. Especially they even have like townhomes or twin homes. We had Michael bought one of those twin homes in Scripps Ranch, which was a very good value looking back on it.
There's another one.
And he was worried about he was overpaying for it. I'm like, no, trust me.
Yeah.
It worked out really well.
I actually have someone looking that's interested in the Scripps Ranch area as well. So I've been focusing on that right now. There was a twin home that came up that had a beautiful backyard with a pool in it. 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms on a twin home. So it was
pool on a twin home?
A pool. And it was gorgeous. It was under 1.4.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Who's
I
this
know.
For?
Oh,
can't tell? Okay. Sorry, we'll talk about this after. Okay. Here's Kelvin again to the Spaniard about what the rich are doing. I'm seeing rich still buying here. One example, Sterling Bay, real estate investment firm, bought a huge lot in San Diego for biotech office. Oh, where is that one? I didn't hear that. Oh, Sterling Bay. That's the name of the company. Got it. Yeah. For $500 million. Good for them.
Just flying around. Yeah.
And by Twitter though, did they? Hello, I see the home price in Three Roots never stops climbing. Any thoughts on Three Roots? I do believe it is going to stop climbing real soon. So I would keep an eye on it now, and don't believe what the home builders tell you, because they won't tell you how many people are on that list. But they might keep everyone on the list from when it first opened. I guarantee like 80% of those people can't afford it anymore. So if you want Three Roots, I think in the next 2 to 3 months, it's a good time to get in there.
Have you been? I haven't been down there for a couple months. Have you seen recently?
I actually haven't recently. I should go check it out.
I'd be curious as to how much of the construction is actually.
We should do a walking tour of that. I know we tried to do it that one time. It didn't work out though.
I did a whole tour of
I know.
Vern said the sound was
terrible.
Guys, I was talking about those homes.
Sometimes I know we make this look easy, guys, but sometimes it does not work out. Okay. Spaniard. Man, he just watches all our stuff, man. This is great.
Oh, let's-
San Marcos. I swear this is not my mom or dad. Just keep typing in.
How do we know?
1.2 million home. Price drop to $999. Over 400 price drops on Zillow. When the big boys drop, everyone follows. I own my home for 30 years now. I purchased for half list.
Half the listing price?
30 years ago? Okay. Same market, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Where do you live, Spaniard? Do you live you own a home in San Marcos? I know, is that what he's saying? Or this is just an example? I'm not sure.
So essentially they dropped the price by $200,000 maybe. I mean, you
can't, and that's also the whole price drop thing. I wouldn't get too caught up on that because sometimes people just like overprice it
big time
just to see what happens.
Yeah.
So, and then there's people that underprice it and they get 13 offers. So like, but when you see a bunch of them in a row, like I saw a little bit more than usual, then I usually take note about it. So
okay, show me the next.
Then it went up, down, up, down. That's how it goes. Okay. Should be a realtor, Spaniard. What are some great affordable areas farther inland of San Diego? Like outside the city limits, basically. Well, we mentioned Escondido. Escondido's a more affordable spot.
And that's inland.
Inland north, and then Poway. Poway's. I always say that's a good spot for first-time home buyers because you're not going to get a gigantic house, but you can get a 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom house for under $1 million. I know it doesn't sound affordable, but by our standards, it is somewhat affordable.
Yeah.
Where else, Mike?
Places like Lemon
I mean,
Grove.
depends on how far inland they want to go. I mean, Ramona's a great area. You can get some great affordable, a lot of property out there, but it's quite far from the city. I think it takes probably 40 minutes. El Cajon, Valley Center.
Not affordable anymore. Valley Center.
No, Valley Center is a great area. There's lots of options.
East, most of like a lot of East County is relatively affordable.
Yeah,
depends on how far inland you want to go.
Yeah, Ramona. Do we ever say Ramona?
Mike just said.
Good. I always listen to what Mike says.
Yeah. Yes. No, Ramona's you can get lots of space. You can have horses and stuff up there. But that would be about a 45-minute drive from where we are here in North County, I would say. Would you agree?
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
And then if you're counting from downtown San Diego, it's going to push you beyond an hour, probably.
Yes.
But maybe that's not that. Maybe that doesn't.
Kind of just depends on your lifestyle and where you work and what do you like to do. So everybody's different. There's a place for everyone here in San Diego.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I had some clients that were living in Mira Mesa and loved Ramona, and they didn't mind the commute and were willing to drive 45 minutes. So they ended up buying a place out in Ramona.
Wow.
Yeah,
they wanted more land, and
they don't mind driving an hour to get to. I'm like, okay,
that's a good one to mention. Temecula.
I probably wouldn't do
Mira Mesa. Mira Mesa still has some. We should mention Mira Mesa.
Oh yeah, we did say that Mira Mesa.
Mira Mesa has some great
single-family homes for under $1 million there. Again,
and you'll be in an established neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
There's some nice parks, some good schools, and some of those homes have a little bit more yard space. Some have pools if you're looking for a pool. The homes may be a little bit older, but a lot of them have been really lovingly cared for and renovated. So, I mean, Mira Mesa.
I just showed a twin home there that was listed at $650, but it had like a huge yard. So it felt, as close to a single family home as you can get. You shared one. You probably could on this one, actually.
Wild, right?
So for $650, I'm like, I could buy this as an investment property. I didn't, but there are decent values out there still, and I think we'll see more values coming up in the near future. Again, not predicting a housing crash, but a softening, as they say, or as I say. If I make that up.
You.
Just me. Good. It's Kelvin.
Oh, it's Kelvin.
Okay, Kelvin and Spaniard are having a talk now.
You're talking real estate homes, not commercial properties.
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
Got it.
I still
Touche.
Thank you guys for throwing that Halloween event in 2021. It was really good.
Oh, did you come to that?
Oh, you did? Oh, you should have said.
Oh my goodness.
Or did you
so
say
are
hi?
You local? Are you in this area, Kelvin? That's awesome. That Halloween event.
We're gonna do it every year, so hopefully you come to next year too. So
free stuff.
Now we really need to find out who his realtor was.
I know. You were in the area. You were coming to the events.
Come to the event.
Let
You
us
hook
find
us
your
up.
house.
It's okay. You can still come to the next one.
I'm crying on the
fine.
inside a little bit.
Should I buy a condo now? If I buy, I will pay for $3,700 versus rent $3,150 per month. I mean, yes, I would. I mean, you're paying someone's mortgage. Do you want to pay your own, or do you want to pay somebody else's?
Yeah.
So, and for that difference, you get the tax benefit of owning a home. So you're basically paying pretty close to exactly the same amount, and then you're building equity. I mean, it depends on where it is. I wouldn't just buy it anywhere, but if it's like in a good area with a decent school district or a popular location,
Yeah.
then I would. But again, it
Mhm.
kind of depends on your situation. But you're going to be paying virtually the same thing. So, just my 2 cents. And then you can use that condo to buy a house one day as the home appreciates. Because
If
even
you
if the
want a
market
house,
dips at some
maybe you
point,
don't want a
maybe you
house,
don't want
though.
one.
Maybe condos
or
are
you
the
can get a
space
bigger
you need,
condo
or
later, or whatever it is, so a different
fancier
place. Yeah, or
condo.
you're moving out of the state one day. Could prices go down? They definitely could, but then they go back up again. So,
Mhm.
and if there is a dip, it's not going to be a big dip, I don't think. So, unless they bring up interest rates up to 8%, then we might have a problem.
I read an article today that San Diego was the 5th most expensive in the U.S. It moved up in rent. They
Mm.
compared 1-bedroom places, and I think 4th place was Boston. I want to say San Francisco, obviously, or New York was number 1, then San Francisco. I can't remember the third. It might have been Boston.
Well,
We
what's
just
a
passed LA.
We're here. Would you say what's a one bedroom? Like almost $2,000
Yeah, it was 20. I think it was 2256. That's what they mentioned in the article.
for a one bedroom apartment in
Yeah,
San Diego.
and that was average for San Diego County. And then they looked at LA Metro, and it was, I think, 2150. It was a website, or I guess Zumper. I think they look at rents nationwide. So I don't know. Just
Like you made up that website.
You did. That's not a real word.
no, it's it was on 10 News. Who knows if 10 News in San
Yeah,
Diego.
I believe you. I just
You
that
never-
sounds like a word I would use.
You never know.
Yeah.
It's a
Okay.
zumper.
Yeah, we get a lot of rental questions too from emails from people and
Yeah,
stuff too.
yeah.
So. What do you think about Arlo? I like the homes of Arlo. Plan 2 is my favorite.
Yeah,
Arlo.
Plan 2 was
What's
nice.
over there. Yards are super tight there. So
Mhm.
I think you can buy a slightly older home, like 5, 10, 15 years old,
Mm-hmm.
with a bigger yard for the same price as the Arlos.
Yeah.
But I know how people love new construction sometimes. So I do think it'll be easier to get them. I don't know what phase they're on now. They Lennar likes to be super secretive about their
Yeah.
stuff all the time. So they don't tell you much information besides you can take tours of them very easily. I like the location of Arlo a lot.
It's great. It is great. You're so close to Merge 56. I get it. The name makes sense. You really are right there by the 56, which is so convenient.
And if you don't need a big yard, then it's fine.
Yeah.
I prefer a slightly bigger yard with kids and stuff like that. But if you don't need the space, then I think it's a perfectly good. They are a
good
little
close together.
snug.
They're snug.
But
they're a little snug.
If that doesn't bother you, I think that the homes are nice.
Mm-hmm.
The layouts are nice.
Layouts. Yeah, the kitchens were nice. That's a big one for me. The kitchens, and I thought the kitchens were nice.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right, we got a bunch more questions here.
Yes.
Okay, we're gonna try to. We've got about 13 minutes left, but we'll try to go through these.
I can read and talk so fast.
Okay, here you read out loud.
I didn't mean to intrude, but what has given you guys your leverage to buy? Give. Oh, you can click here. Given the prices.
Oh, this one. Given the prices. Basically, I bought a condo in 2012. That went up in value, and then I was able to use that condo to buy the house. So if I didn't buy that condo in 2000, that's why I was when the previous person said, "Should I buy this condo?"
Mm-hmm. And does she mean clients too? What has given clients the leverage to buy, or you specifically?
I'm not sure.
Okay, either way. Go ahead.
Where were we? Up there? Was it right up? I lost it. Sorry.
I know. I'm watching the time too.
This one?
It was here. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay. What has given you guys leverage by? Yeah. So basically, that's how I was able to do it. Obviously, some people probably have good jobs that they've accumulated a lot of, or they had family money, but that's the way I was able to do it.
People coming from, I feel like so many of the clients here are coming from a place where, as crazy as it sounds, this is more of a savings for them. Coming from places like Mike had mentioned, where it is more expensive, like the Bay Area, and you come down here and and you've sold a home up there or a condo or an apartment, and then you come down here and it seems like a bit of a savings.
But if you're looking to buy your first home, don't look for your dream home. Look for a home you have right now. I love that advice
that you always give.
That's a hard one. I bought the worst condo in Los Angeles when I bought. It was 2-bedroom, 1-bath. It faced the building. It had no light and one parking spot. It was terrible, but it went up $200,000 in
It
value
appreciated
in
there
like
for
3
you.
years. So,
Yeah.
so don't always expect to get your best one. Like,
Yeah.
look at the apartments you've lived in over your life.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not some I'd like to forget, but you know.
Oh, I have so many that I'd like to forget.
Yes. Okay. We'll go through a few more here.
Yep.
My 2 cents. Arlo is beautiful. I love Plan 2, but the MR and Melrose and HOA is really high, and the backyard is very small.
Yeah.
Yep. I pretty much agree with all of those.
Mm-hmm.
The Melrose is kind of everywhere over
Right.
here. If you have anything built in the last 20 years, pretty much has Melrose. So
Mm-hmm.
that wasn't as much of a turn off for me, just because I'm kind of used to it over here. But if you came from an area that didn't have Melrose, I get why you wouldn't want to do it. So.
Yeah.
Or if you're spending $2 million, I want a little bit of yard.
School system, and you're paying for this Melrose,
Yeah.
which is essentially sort of not a school tax, but a
But
little bit of a
it
school
kind of
tax.
goes hand in hand. So
that's a hard pill to swallow when you're like, I'm not sending anybody through this fancy school system. Like,
No.
why am I paying all
That's
this
why a
money
lot of
towards-
people, once their kids go through college, they move out of the Melrose areas.
That's right.
And then
Yes.
downsize or move closer to the beach or
Sure.
wherever. So.
Mm-hmm. Or just where the Melrose.
Alex Campos, I think I remember Alex from previous YouTube lives. If I end up buying a house that needs some remodeling, I want to start talking contractors. Can you recommend a good contractor for general remodeling? Yes, we can. If you want to email us after this, I will. I don't want to just throw it up on here just because if everyone starts using them, then
oh my gosh, then we won't be able to.
Then I can't get them to do
Yeah.
anything, and it can be very frustrating.
I think you've already given them too much business.
I know,
as
but
is.
we do have a lot of good referrals for vendors and that sort of thing.
Agreed. Agreed. Let's skip to this one. We
didn't
put
type
that one.
that. How about Rancho Bernardo, Westwood Market? Any comments, insights? I really like Westwood. We had Ari and Adria live over in Westwood.
There's there's a home for sale in Westwood right now that looks really nice. For sale, as in it was for sale this past weekend. It's probably already pending now, but
you never know.
They have their own little elementary school there. That's a 9 out of 10 if you care about the scores. It's super walkable community. They have their nice
rec
center, like swim tennis club there, and it's not included, but when you live in the neighborhood,
you can go.
You have access.
There's
to that.
HOA, but the HOA is really low. It's like 40 or 50.
Yes, it is low. I think it's a great neighborhood. I think it's.
You got Phil's Barbecue right down the street, which is great.
Sold.
Great
there you
spot.
go. I like the location. You're close to the 15, but not too close. Like you're not hearing the freeway constantly. I think Westwood is a really nice.
And Apple's opening an office in Rancho Bernardo, so resale value for that for the years to come will probably be very good.
There you go.
Just my 2 cents.
Yeah.
Spaniard is back. My situation was similar to today. We were looking to buy our first home after 1 year looking. We stopped because of the crazy pricing, then crashed. Deja vu. I'm not saying you have the rosiest outlook on things, Spaniard, but but again, we still love you. It's fine. Denise, thanks. You're welcome.
Yes.
Oh, Julian, one of our clients. That's based off average pay years ago. That data is touch off.
A touch off.
Okay. Thank you, Julian. Appreciate that. Okay, a couple more questions. We got a couple minutes here. Okay. It's Kelvin. Oh, yeah, I went to this event. I said, I love your YouTube channel, but didn't say that I was Kelvin. I grew up probably down the street.
You went to Westview.
Oh, you
You're
did?
in Mira Mesa.
Oh,
Lovely.
very cool.
Oh, that's awesome. Congrats on your new house.
Well, next time say it's Kelvin.
Were you talking to me or Bern? About it was hard I was trying to recognize people, but there was a lot of masks still at the event, so it was kind of difficult.
And we had some technical issues trying to get the movie on.
Just for a minute. So, what event runs that smoothly the first time anyway? You have to have something.
Exactly. Wow, that's crazy. Yes, it is crazy. Appreciate all you. I like your screen name. Yuck. Appreciate all of you. Great work. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Thanks. You're welcome. Okay. One last question. Arizona lifestyle. Hey guys, out of the most affordable places to live, purchase, can you suggest some areas to maybe avoid because of crime and things like that? We're not really supposed to say things about what is the worst and what's the best. I did think about trying to do a video based off of somebody else's list, making which ones are best and worst.
And you can go to the websites on your own and look at crime reports by zip code and stuff like that, which is helpful.
And then some of those websites like Zillow and Redfins, I think they actually have the data, some of the data on there. But
obviously, I will say, just as with most cities, the downtown areas occasionally have just what downtown areas have.
Yeah, any metro area
Any
will
metro
sometimes will
area.
have a little bit more crime, a little, there's certain
Yes, they
areas of
can.
downtown that can be, if you just look it up, it's not too
Yeah,
far from there.
right.
So
You can, yeah.
but I'm trying to make a video on that we're allowed to do.
Yeah.
And hopefully that'll be helpful for you guys going forward. But unfortunately, it can be steering or something like that.
Yeah,
If you say it. So we can't really
Can't really tell
harp
you.
on that,
Yeah.
unfortunately, too
Yeah.
much. Okay, two more things. To the Spanish, there's a casualty because of high interest rate. So it won't actually result in more affordable home market. You'd just be paying more in interest instead of principal. That's what they say. If interest rates go up, maybe the prices dip a little bit, but your payment's kind of the same. So do you want the lower price or the higher interest rate? It's kind of
balance out
a little bit. So we shall see. Thanks for another great video. Thanks, Deb. We always enjoy your company. Thanks you guys for watching. Again, we're going to try to be more consistent on the lives because we've been slacking on these. So I would like to do Perfect World twice a month. You guys can kind of chime in with all your questions. We have a good video coming out this week on Liberty Station.
Liberty Station.
One of my
Guys, you gotta
favorite
go to
spots
Liberty
in San
Station.
Diego,
If
so-
you're here in San Diego or new to San Diego or you just moved here, or Kelvin, if you've lived here and went to Westview, Liberty Station is so fun.
Every time I go there, I feel like I like it more than I did before.
Me
So
too.
Any sneak peeks on your favorite spots down there, or we just got to wait to find out?
so many things. So they have a new mini golf course down there. I'm not sure if
Yeah.
it's new, how new it is, but it's been there for a
On
while.
the Loma Club, which
They
is
have
the
that
golf course. I
par-
call the three-par.
three-par or
Par
par three
three.
golf course.
Yeah, and then they
Um,
also have two mini golf. They've really spruced it up. As far as our camera guy says, that it used to be a little more worn, and
Yes.
it has new owners and it's been.
I think he
up.
liked it more when it was
He
before.
did.
Yeah, like,
He
okay.
wanted to go there and get sloppy in the middle of the day.
I know.
But
He enjoys himself.
he
That's all that
did
matters.
too much.
Shout out to Ollie, our videographer.
Yes,
Great.
yeah. So now it's pretty fancy. I thought it was lovely, actually. So
And that video
golf
turned out
course
very well.
there,
That'll be
yeah.
released on Friday
I
or
love
Saturday.
that whole the food market where they
public
have
market.
the public market where they have all the different types of food. I think that is so fun. The movie theater there called The Lot.
Stone Brewery.
Stone Brewery is
Restaurant
nice.
Brewery. They have it. Oh, we shouldn't even
No,
tell them what it's
yeah,
there.
don't
Okay.
tell them
We're not just going to
everything.
ruin the whole video for you.
But
You
it's
guys to watch
just-
it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a really fun place to go.
Okay, last couple things. Thanks. I got you. You're welcome. But if you want to email us, you can email us. We'll tell you a little bit more. Love Liberty Station. Yes, Deb. Thank you. We do too. We'll meet you down there for a drink one day. Come let us know. And I still love you, Spare. Good discussion about real estate. All right, we're just making friends here left and right out here, guys. This is great. Community.
Connections, yeah.
Okay, thanks for another great video. You guys are welcome. We were just about an hour right now, which is what I promised these guys. I would not keep them longer than
I
that.
gotta go make dinner.
And it's hot in here from these lights.
It gets really warm.
We
I
have
always
these lights on
forget.
us. It's very hot.
Cheers.
So, anyways, thanks for watching and catch us next time, guys. Peace.
Bye.
See you later.
Oh, it's a date,
Deb, it's a
Deb.
date.
I love it.